Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever wondered what it takes to truly build wealth and break free from the traditional 9-to-5 grind, today's video is for you. We're diving into Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, a book that's changed the way millions think about money. In this video, we'll be hopping from chapter to chapter, breaking down the key lessons from each one so you can start thinking like the rich. From the importance of financial education to overcoming obstacles and getting started, we're covering it all. So if you're ready to change your financial mindset, keep watching. Let's jump in. Chapter 1. The Rich Don't Work for Money. What if I told you that working harder and earning more money isn't the solution to financial freedom? Sounds shocking, right? That's exactly what Robert Kiyosaki explores in Chapter 1 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The Rich Don't Work for Money. When Kiyosaki was just a young boy, his rich dad gave him a lesson that most of us never learn. If you want to be wealthy, you need to stop working for money. But what does that even mean? Here's the deal. Most people get stuck in what Rich Dad calls the rat race. They work hard, get a paycheck, pay their bills, and then repeat the cycle endlessly. It's a trap driven by fear. Fear of not having enough, and by greed, the desire for more. The result? They work harder and harder, but never break free. Rich Dad's advice flips this script. Instead of working for money, the wealthy focus on making money work for them. They invest in assets like businesses, real estate, or stocks, things that generate income without requiring constant effort. While most of us trade time for money, the rich build systems that keep earning even when they're not working. But here's the twist. This isn't just about money, it's about mindset. Rich Dad emphasized the importance of financial education, learning how money works, understanding opportunities, and using creativity to solve problems. It's not about chasing a bigger paycheck. It's about seeing money as a tool to build freedom. So the next time you think about getting a raise or working overtime, ask yourself, are you working for money or are you finding ways to make money work for you? That's the difference between staying stuck and building a life of financial independence. Chapter 2. Why teach financial literacy? Let's be honest. Most of us were never taught how to handle money. Sure, we learned math and maybe a bit about saving, but no one sat us down and explained how to actually build wealth. That's where Chapter 2 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad comes in. Why teach financial literacy? Rich Dad believed that financial literacy is the foundation of wealth. Without it, no matter how much money you make, you can still end up broke. He explained this using a simple rule. The rich buy assets. The poor and middle class buy liabilities, but they think they're assets. Here's the problem. Most people don't understand the difference between an asset and a liability. An asset puts money in your pocket, like investments, real estate, or a business. A liability, on the other hand, takes money out of your pocket, like car loans, credit card debt, or even that fancy house you think is an investment. The scary truth is that many people spend their entire lives acquiring liabilities, thinking they're building wealth. They buy bigger houses, nicer cars, or new gadgets, but these things drain their finances instead of growing them. Rich Dad's message is clear. To escape the rat race, you need to focus on acquiring real assets. This doesn't mean you need to be a financial genius. It means you need to prioritize learning how money works. Whether it's through books, mentors, or hands-on experience, the key is to build your financial IQ. Think of it this way. Money is like water. Without the right knowledge, it'll slip through your fingers, no matter how much you earn. But with financial literacy, you can build a reservoir, something that keeps growing and working for you over time. So if you want to create lasting wealth, the first step is simple. Teach yourself financial literacy. Because the truth is, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep and how wisely you use it. Chapter 3. Mind your own business. Here's a question for you. When you get your paycheck, what's the first thing you think about? Is it paying bills, covering rent, or maybe buying that thing you've been eyeing? In Chapter 3 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki introduces a game-changing idea. Mind your own business. Now, this doesn't mean ignoring your job or responsibilities. What Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki is that while most people spend their entire lives working to make someone else rich, whether it's their employer, the bank, or the government, The wealthy focus on building something of their own. Think about it. Every time you make a payment on a car loan, a mortgage, or a credit card, you're putting money in someone else's pocket. Rich Dad's advice is simple. Start focusing on your own financial growth. And the key to doing that? Build your own assets. Kiyosaki explains that assets are the foundation of financial independence. These could be things like real estate, stocks, bonds, intellectual property, or even a small side hustle. The goal is to create streams of income that flow directly to you, not to someone else. Here's an example. Most people think owning a home is an asset, but Rich Dad disagreed. He argued that unless that property generates income, like renting it out, it's actually a liability. Instead, focus on assets that put cash in your pocket month after month. But here's the twist. This isn't about quitting your job or taking on massive risks overnight. It's about starting small and gradually shifting your mindset. While others are busy climbing the corporate ladder, you're quietly building your own financial foundation. So here's the challenge for you. Start minding your own business. Whether it's investing in stocks, starting a small venture, or simply learning more about finances, take that first step toward building your own wealth. Remember, the path to financial freedom doesn't start with a paycheck. It starts with a mindset. Chapter 4. The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. Let's talk about something most people dread: taxes. But here's the thing. While most of us see taxes as an unavoidable burden, the wealthy see them as something they can navigate to their advantage. That's the core lesson in Chapter 4 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. Have you ever wondered why it feels like the harder you work, the more taxes eat away at your paycheck? It wasn't always like this. Rich Dad explained that taxes were originally introduced to target the wealthy. But here's the irony. Over time, the middle class ended up carrying the heaviest tax burden, while the wealthy learned how to use the system to their benefit. So how do they do it? The secret lies in understanding the power of corporations. Most people earn their money, pay taxes on it, and then spend what's left. The rich, however, operate differently. Through their corporations, they earn money, spend on business expenses, and only pay taxes on what's left. It's a complete reversal of the system most of us are stuck in. For example, if a wealthy person owns a business, they can write off expenses like travel, equipment, or even part of their home as business costs. These aren't shady loopholes. They're legal advantages available to anyone who understands the rules of the game. But Rich Dad's lesson isn't just about taxes, it's about financial intelligence. He emphasized that the more you learn about money, the more options you have to protect and grow it. The wealthy aren't just playing the same game as everyone else. They've learned to play a completely different one. So the takeaway here isn't to avoid taxes or break the law. It's to understand how the system works and use it to your advantage. The tools are there for anyone willing to learn. And once you unlock them, you'll realize just how much power you have over your financial future. Chapter 5. The Rich Invent Money. Imagine this. You're walking down the street, and suddenly you spot an opportunity. While most people might see a problem, the rich see a way to turn it into profit. That's the essence of Chapter 5 in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Rich Invent Money. Most of us are taught to follow the traditional path. Get a degree, land a job, and work hard. But what if the key to wealth isn't following the rules but creating your own? Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that the wealthy aren't just waiting for opportunities, they invent them. Kiyosaki shares a powerful lesson. Financial opportunities aren't always just handed to you. Sometimes you have to create them by thinking outside the box. Wealthy people have one major trait in common. They think differently about money and risk. Instead of fearing uncertainty, they embrace it. They understand that in times of crisis or change, there are new opportunities to capitalize on. Take the example of investing. While most people are afraid to take risks, the rich see those risks as potential for reward. They don't sit back and wait for money to fall into their lap. They actively create opportunities, whether by starting businesses, investing in the stock market, or innovating in industries. But it's not just about taking any risk. It's about taking calculated risks. The rich don't invent money by throwing money around recklessly. They invest in their financial education, learn about markets, and develop their skills. When they see an opportunity, They know how to seize it with confidence and precision. Rich Dad's key point here is that wealth is a result of creativity, persistence, and the ability to innovate. While others are waiting for opportunities to come knocking, the wealthy are busy inventing their own. They don't just wait for the right moment, they make the moment right. So here's the challenge for you. Start thinking like an inventor. Look at the world around you and ask, what opportunities are others missing? Whether it's through business, real estate, or investments, the key is to be creative. Take calculated risks and keep your mind open to possibilities. Chapter 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. When most people think about their careers, they think about earning a paycheck. But what if I told you that your job shouldn't just be about earning money? It should also be about learning skills that will help you build wealth in the future. That's the key message in Chapter 6 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Work to learn, don't work for money. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that the real value in any job is not the paycheck, but the experience and skills you gain. So many people get stuck in the mindset of working for money, focusing solely on their salary. But this kind of thinking limits your potential. You're trading time for money, and once you stop working, the money stops coming in. Instead, Rich Dad emphasized the importance of working to learn. When you're just starting out, don't worry about how much money you're making. Focus on learning as much as you can. Whether it's learning sales, marketing, management, or leadership, every job should be seen as an opportunity to acquire valuable skills that will pay off later. Kiyosaki shares his own experience. When he was younger, he worked in sales and marketing to learn how to sell and communicate effectively. Even though the job didn't pay the best at the time, the skills he gained would later help him build his own business and wealth. He learned that the best way to make money in the long run is by developing skills that give you leverage in the marketplace. Rich Dad's advice is simple. Don't get stuck in a job because of the paycheck. Get into a job that teaches you something valuable. Once you learn the right skills, you can leverage them to build your own wealth. The key is to always be learning, whether it's through formal education, on-the-job training, or self-study. And don't forget, financial intelligence is key. If you want to truly build wealth, you need to know how to manage money, invest, and understand financial statements. These skills are essential, whether you're working for someone else or starting your own business. So next time you're looking at a job or career move, ask yourself, what am I going to learn here? How will this experience help me build the skills I need to create wealth in the future? Work to learn, and you'll set yourself up for success down the road. Chapter 7. Overcoming obstacles. Let's be real. The path to financial freedom isn't easy. It's filled with challenges, doubts, and obstacles. But here's the thing that sets the wealthy apart from the rest. They don't let obstacles stop them. They learn to overcome them. In Chapter 7 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki dives into how to conquer the 5 major obstacles that stand between you and financial success. The first obstacle is fear. This is the big one that holds most people back. Fear of losing money, fear of failing, fear of what others might think. It's all paralyzing. But here's the truth. The wealthy don't avoid fear. Instead, they use it to their advantage. They take risks, but they take calculated risks, knowing that fear is just part of the process. They understand that failure is not the end, but a learning opportunity. Next up is cynicism. This is the voice that says, it's too risky, or that'll never work. It's the negative self-talk that stops many people from even trying. But Rich Dad's lesson is clear. It's easy to be cynical when you don't understand something. The wealthy don't let cynicism control them. They seek out knowledge, learn from others, and take action despite the doubts. The third obstacle is laziness. It's not about being physically lazy. It's about mental laziness. It's the habit of procrastination, of always putting off the hard work of learning, growing, and taking action. The wealthy don't just work harder, they work smarter. They understand that building wealth takes time, patience, and consistent effort. The key is discipline and focusing on the long-term rewards. The fourth obstacle is bad habits. Whether it's overspending, failing to save, or avoiding financial education, bad habits can keep you stuck. But habits can be changed. Rich Dad taught that if you want to change your financial future, you need to change your habits. Start small. Maybe it's reading books about finances or creating a budget. Every small step counts. Finally, we come to arrogance. This is the belief that you already know everything or that you don't need help. Arrogance can close you off to new opportunities and valuable lessons. The wealthy, however, are humble enough to admit they don't know everything and seek out mentors, advisors, and experts to guide them. They understand that continuous learning is the key to growth. Rich Dad's core message in this chapter is that financial success isn't just about finding the right investment or the perfect business idea. It's about overcoming the internal obstacles, the fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance that hold you back. The moment you can face these head-on, you'll unlock the potential to achieve real wealth. Chapter 8. Getting Started. So now you understand the mindset, the obstacles, and the lessons the wealthy use to build their fortune. But how do you actually get started on your own journey to financial freedom? That's what Chapter 8 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is all about. Getting started. Kiyosaki's message is clear. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or have tons of money to begin. The most important thing is taking that first step. He breaks it down into simple, actionable advice that anyone can follow, no matter where you are financially. The first thing you need is financial education. It's the key to everything. Kiyosaki emphasizes that in today's world, where information is more accessible than ever, there's no excuse for not learning. Whether it's through books, seminars, podcasts, or even online courses, you can start building your financial IQ right now. Start learning about money, investing, and entrepreneurship and make it a daily habit. But don't just focus on theory, start learning through action. Kiyosaki says that the best way to learn is by doing. Start small, even if it's just a side hustle, a small investment, or learning to manage your own finances more effectively. The real-world experience will teach you more than any book or seminar ever could. Kiyosaki also talks about finding a mentor. The wealthy don't just learn from their own mistakes. They learn from others. Find someone who's been where you want to go and ask them to guide you. Whether it's a financial advisor, a successful entrepreneur, or even a trusted friend, having someone who can provide guidance can save you years of trial and error. Another key piece of advice is taking action despite fear. Kiyosaki reminds us that everyone experiences fear when they try something new, especially when it involves money. The difference is that successful people don't let fear stop them. They take calculated risks, learn from their mistakes, and keep moving forward. Finally, Kiyosaki encourages you to take responsibility for your financial future. Stop relying on the government, your job, or anyone else to secure your financial freedom. It's up to you to learn, grow, and build your wealth. So the question is, are you ready to get started? You don't need to be rich to begin. You don't need to have all the answers. What you need is the willingness to take that first step. Learn as much as you can and keep going, even when things get tough. That's how financial success begins. All right, that wraps up today's video on Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I hope you found these insights as eye-opening as I did when I first read the book. Remember, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how you manage and grow it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content on personal finance, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on the book or if you're ready to start your journey to financial freedom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.